Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about heel flips, more specifically the main problems that I see people having with heel flips, how to fix them. This video could apply to you if you're first learning how to heel flip, or maybe you already know how to do one, you just don't like how yours look. These are the main problems that I see people having when they're learning heel flips. So number one, the direction of flick. Without a doubt, this is probably the most important part of it all. But as I've mentioned before in my kickflip videos, this concept applies to kickflips and heel flips, you know, no matter what stance. Not only should you be aiming to just flip the board, but you should also be aiming to level it out. So just like an ollie, you'll notice that when I pop an ollie, I'm sliding the front foot up the nose of the board to sort of level it out in the air. So you want to do the same thing when you're doing a kickflip or a heel flip. I think that's what makes it difficult, that you're not only trying to get the board to flip, but you also should be leveling it out. So because of that, you should be aiming to flip the board diagonally to where it kind of rolls off the nose, not straight forward off the nose. Obviously that would be more of like an ollie, but in a diagonal direction to where it also levels the board out instead of just doing the heel flip. So I see a lot of people flipping their boards straight forward instead of rolling it off the nose. And you can still do a heel flip that way, but it's just not going to level itself out. It's not going to look as good. So I think that also makes it more difficult for you to put your foot back on after you're done flipping it. That's another issue that I'll get into in a moment here, but the direction of flick is extremely important, and I think you should be rolling the heel off the nose more. So just test it out, see what works for you. Everybody has different board setups and different shoes, so that might affect it as well. If you have, you know, fresh grip tape as opposed to an old board that you've been skating a while, or if you have brand new shoes, that kind of changes the friction a little bit. So just play around with it and see what works best for you. But the more you can get the board to level out, the better it's going to be, because it'll allow you to get a higher heel flip. You'll be able to catch it better, and it's just gonna look better overall. So again, it's not that you can't do a heel flip by flipping it straight forward, but I would definitely recommend rolling it off the nose. Next problem would be the weight distribution. So I also see a lot of people leaning forward too much, and I think it's easy to lean forward or just sort of hover over your board, or just really have your weight hunched over, because your feet are going in that direction as well. You know, you have your toes kind of lunged over the board, and so it's easier to have more weight in that area, but it's important to keep your shoulders aligned with the board. And I would say that if you could film yourself doing a heel flip, and your shoulders, if you were to draw like a straight line between your shoulders and the ground, and that line doesn't touch the board at any point, I would say you need to adjust your weight so that you can have a better alignment when you're doing the trick, and the board doesn't end up going behind you. So when your alignment's not good and you pop a heel flip and you flip it, the board often will go behind you. So make sure that your weight is aligned properly as well. And the third problem, and another headache, could be that you can't seem to get your foot back on. And I think the problem is not that you can't get it on, it's that you're saying you can't get it on. You know, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that's just really a result of habit. So a lot of people get used to trying tricks without committing to them. And when it comes time to try and actually land it, they find that they can't put their foot back on, because they've gotten so used to just trying a trick with the intention of getting it to flip, but not trying to land on it. You know, having like no accountability or taking no responsibility to land back on it. So it's really just about erasing those old habits and developing new ones that will help you land actual tricks. So whether it makes you feel more comfortable to, let's say, try the trick into the grass, or maybe just use those practice trucks to where you don't have wheels on them and you're just practicing flip tricks without being able to slip out because you're riding on wheels. Maybe that makes you feel more comfortable. Or maybe it's just about kind of retraining yourself to try and land the trick, and just over and over try to get your foot back on. But that's a very important part of it as well, just learning how to commit to a trick and doing whatever it takes to erase the old bad habit and to develop a new one. So those are the 3 problems that I see most people having with heel flips. Make sure that you flip diagonally off the nose to not only do the heel flip, but to level it out. Make sure that your weight is distributed properly. And make sure you replace any old bad habits of not trying to land the trick with intentions of trying to land it. Those are the main issues that I see with heel flips. Thanks for tuning in as always, guys. I will see you next time.